Okay, so here we are in the kitchen. A little update. This is Scruffy and his three little babies, and he is still not being able to keep that youngest chick fed. I have stepped in and started feeding that baby along with little Gizmo over here. So every time I feed Gizmo, I feed that little baby too. He doesn't eat as much as Gizmo. He kind of sees me as a stranger, but he is taking in some food. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, you know what? 5 is too many chicks. They really need to only be 4 of them. So here's the thing. If you have, if you're breeding English budgies for show, what you're breeding for is size and feather. And if you get a chick that isn't getting enough food, then their bodies adapt to the situation by not growing. They continue to develop, but they don't grow. There's that little baby over there in the corner. Is Daddy going to feed him? I don't know. I don't see a lot of response happening there. So it had gotten to the point with these guys where they were all the same size, even though they are not the same age. And now that I've taken out Mama and the 2 biggest babies, I'm starting to see a differential in size. This guy right here, right, let me zoom in on, right there is the biggest by a significant amount. Next biggest is the guy sitting next to him, and the little guy over here in the corner is the smallest. So what that tells me is that they've started growing again. That's why I'm seeing the size differential. You know you're in trouble when all the babies start looking the same size, because that means they're not getting enough food, so they're not growing. To give you an idea of how that works, let's take a look at little Cookie over here. Now, Cookie's up here on the perch with my little Texas Clearbody hen. Can you see how much smaller he is? He has grown some. So, you know, he's got all his feathers out and he's climbing around. He's starting to try and fly. He is never going to be bigger than a normal parakeet because his growth was stunted so much. He should be as big as the chicks that I have outside. He's their age. And yet he's tiny. She is not a big bird. In fact, I'm kind of disappointed in thinking about rebreeding her father and mother to see if I can get a hen chick that's a little bigger. But him next to her, he's standing up very, very straight right now, whereas she's actually resting on her breastbone. And he's just tiny, and he's never going to get bigger than that. I mean, he may get a little bit bigger, but he's never going to look like a normal budgie. So what happens if a breeder lets a hen and a cock try and raise 5 or 6 chicks is by definition at least the last chick, if not the youngest 2 or 3 chicks, are never going to achieve a showable size because they're not going to get enough food. So you're going to end up with adult birds that you can look at them and tell, if you put all the siblings together, who were the oldest and who were the youngest in the clutch, because the youngest ones are small even as adults. So I think for the purposes of producing show birds, which is the purpose of breeding English budgies, for the size and that special feathering, you're not ever going to want to let a pair raise more than 4 chicks. Because they just cannot, these babies grow so big, so fast, that their parents simply cannot provide them with enough food. So, you know, going forward as I'm doing fostering, you know, I'm not ever going to, you know, kill a chick to reduce the clutch size. But, you know, I have enough birds, so usually I have more than 1 clutch at a time. Like, for instance, right now, Marine is out there with 3 chicks and 3 more eggs to hatch. Whereas Coco and Kobe just hatched their first chick, and there's only 1 other viable egg in their nest. So what that means is that if Marine keeps on hatching beyond 4 chicks, I can take the 5th and 6th and stick them over with Coco and Kobe, since they only have 2. And that is not uncommon. So, but anyway, so I think I'm changing my my statement that because I said, okay, 5 chicks is the max because these two are killing themselves to keep these guys fed. Well, what I'm seeing is that they are not keeping them fed. That's why I split out the 2 older chicks, and it worked. They're all starting to grow again, and I can see a difference in size and age. But that youngest chick would not be making it without me. So that's something to think about. So I like, in the hobby, I'll get people say, oh yeah, my hen lays like 8 eggs, you know, as though that's a good thing. Well, they can't sit on 8 eggs, so I know no matter what he says that 8 eggs are not hatching. But if they end up with more than 4, then all he's doing is wasting the parent's energy on that 4th, perhaps that 5th chick, and ensuring that the last 2 chicks are not going to reach their size potential, therefore not going to be showable birds. So, I think clutch size has a lot to do with this. So, for instance, look at this bird. This is the oldest sibling here. That's his mother standing behind him. He's so much bigger than her, it's ridiculous. Because he was the oldest one, so he got most of the food. I had to take him and his next in line brother out in order to get the youngest ones to start growing again. So I'm seeing 1 adult bird can convincingly feed 2 chicks to get them to their optimal size. Yes, they could feed 4 chicks and have them all survive, but you're not going to have showable birds because the food was spread too thin. So do you see how much bigger this chick is than her? He's absolutely massive. And these guys, again, 2 clutches of 2 and 1 clutch of 3. All of these babies are big. I'm not getting any little runts, you know. Well, except for, where is he? That's I think this is Lacey's baby, Lacey and Haverty's, and I think it's just genetics because Lacey's a tiny bird and this one's little. But I am confident that he's grown to his greatest capacity. I don't think he's little because he didn't get enough food. He was, after all, the oldest chick in there. He's just little because if he stands next to his mother, he looks exactly like her. So, but anyway, so yeah, I'm kind of rethinking the clutch size thing. I think 4 is, if I'm actually expecting to get chicks that I can show because they have, oops, oh, didn't mean to step on you, I just stepped on my turtle. Sorry, Missy. She's in here looking for a place to dig a nest because the ground's softer in here. Anyway, so if I'm looking for chicks that I can actually show, I'm never going to let a hen and a cock try and raise a litter of 5 chicks. Unless I'm going to be around all the time to help them feed the last 1 or 2 chicks. So, these guys are all in here together because pretty soon they're going to get let out into the girls' flight cage, and I want to give them a chance to get to know each other. So they're in here for today and probably tomorrow, and then they're all going out in the big flight cage. Laurel is going to be in here with these 2 babies for probably another 2 days as well, and then she'll go and they'll stay in here on their own for a few more days after that. And I will introduce my little Clear Body and Cookie, the orphan survivor, with them, and then release all 4 of them together into the big flight as well. So, so let's take a look. This is Stratus, and in here we have Marine and, yes, her 3 babies still. She's actually not due to hatch another one until tomorrow. She missed a hatch in there. If you look at the dates, let's see, Stratus and Marine, if you look at their dates, the 16th, 18th, 21st. There should have been a chick on the 20th, perhaps. So I have a feeling that means there is... Oh, and also, they were supposed to start hatching on the 12th. Okay, so she's got 2 infertile eggs in there. Good. So they're only going to have 4 chicks. So probably only 1 more will hatch, because the hatch date was 5/12, but the first chick didn't hatch until 5/16. So that means the chick that was supposed to hatch on 5/12 and the one that was supposed to hatch on 5/14 were infertile. So that also means that we probably didn't skip a chick with this last hatch being 3 days behind instead of 2 days, because when they get towards the end of the clutch, the hen will take an extra day to lay an egg sometimes. So I'm thinking we'll probably get one more tomorrow, and that will be the end of that, and we won't need to foster any chicks. And Kobe, I just looked in here at Kobe and Coco's little one, so I don't want to open the box again, but their first one hatched, and Coco's a really good mom, so I would be surprised if it didn't make its first 24 hours. So I'm excited about that. Like I said, they have one other fertile egg in there, so I'm hoping for another chick in a few days, and that's all good and fine. Look at those two. That is Izod and Matilda's baby, and Foster. Their baby just ended up so tall. He's really going to be a nice sized bird, and he is for my dilute line. He's split to dilute. I will be breeding him. He's also split to blue, so I'll be breeding him to one of Stratus and Marine's chicks. Him, her, I don't know what it is. So because they will all be split to blue. I'm kind of hoping that Stratus is split to blue, and I might even get a blue chick in here, because I'd love to add blue to my dilute line, because right now all I have is greens. So, and these two are just awesome. These are also split to dilute chicks. I'm hoping for girls here, because I would like to breed Hunter to one of them and Izod to another one. But we'll see how that plays out. 5 chicks, I have a lot to choose from. But I'd like it to, of course, be able to choose the biggest best. So, we'll see what happens. So, exciting. Okay, Missy, I'm going to leave you here until it starts to get dark. Dig. She's been wanting to lay eggs, so she's jumping out of the pond every day, and I'm afraid she's going to hurt herself. So I started bringing her in here because there's gravel all around the pond, and she can't dig in it. So I have modified the girl side. It used to be like this with the hanging perch that swings around, but that's just not enough perch space. Those rods right there are 3 feet long, and there's only 3 of them. And if I'm going to stick all of those babies in here, we needed more perch space, because they'll fight over perch space. So I also put the male cockatiels in here on the boys' side. So now we have the girls and 4 4-foot long perches. So I've pretty much doubled their perch space. And as you can see, there's lots of empty space there for the youngsters to come in and sit. How many girls do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, I think this will work out just fine, and I'm going to bring those babies in here probably tomorrow afternoon, late in the evening, and add them to the pile. The one chick that I have in here, this is my little clear body's older sibling, and I believe it's resolving to be a boy. Its cere is looking pretty blue, but it has enough of a white tint to it that I'm kind of waiting to make absolutely sure. Because I would hate to stick one female chick in here with all these horny boys. It would not be a good time. So I'm going to wait and see to make sure. And move it in, if it's a boy, move it in with some of the younger chicks as they resolve. So, okay, so I've been busy today. Hi, Zoo. How you doing? Kiss, pretty bird. Yes, you cool. Kisses. Yeah, that's kisses. Okay. All right, so that's today's update. I'm excited about Kobe and Coco's chick. I sure hope I get that second one, because that would give me 3 chicks for the year. Their oldest one is, where is she? She's right there. She's just going into her 3-month molt. Oh, you can't see her because of the stupid wire. Come on, resolve. There she is. And she is a big girl. She's behind the opaline one. She's a big girl, just like her mama, and I'm thrilled. Okay, that's it.